So we are kicking off the Medfield School Committee Policy Subcommittee meeting. Calling the meeting to order officially. Sorry for the technical delays. Just a roll call. Tim Knight is here. Mr. Leo Brem.
Leo Brem here.
Okay, excellent. We are on Zoom, and I guess I will ask if there is any public comment. And I'm not going to read the whole preamble because I think there's only one attendee. Is there any? If there is any public comment, just please raise your hand. Okay, so no public comment. And other than that, first we're going to do is approval of minutes from last Friday, 10/27/2023. I will bring a motion forward for approval of those minutes. Do I hear a second? Leo, you were either
on second. Mute. Sorry.
Okay, good. And then all in favor, Tim Knight, yes.
Leo Brem, yes.
Okay, excellent. So now we're going to move to review of continue our review of policy manual section I, and I think I'm going to now pass it over to Jim Hardy. And Jim, I forget, I'm swapping between screens. If you are yeah, good, you're sharing your screen. Okay.
All right. So we want to go back and start with the technology policies, IJND, from holdover from the last meeting.
Yep, I should bring it on. Sorry, I was
here.
Supposed to have a copy of me. Thank you.
Look at that. Where were all those people when we were trying to get the Zoom going? And it was 6 people. Everyone's like doing merry, hiding on our phone. Oh yeah, I got something important. You know, well, Jeff, someday. Good Lord. All right, we have some humor. Actually, and just the last pause. We may still be moving. I have to step out right at a couple minutes before 11. So sorry for that, but depending how it goes. If Leo, what's your what's the limit of time that you have?
I have till 11.
Okay, so yeah, so that, and I think that so we'll look to stop about 5 minutes too, just in case. All right, we are rolling.
So the as we discussed last week, there's some existing Medfield policies on technology, and then there were some temporary ones that had been suggested. The first one up was access to digital resources. This is the statement that verifies you will comply with the Children's Internet Protection Act, as well as the Online Privacy Protection Act. And there'll be rules of use for students and employees and community. Then came the current, well, the version that I have, the Medfield's Internet Acceptable Use and Safety Policy. My only cause for concern was this was 2001, and I don't know if this is the latest version that the district has used.
The latest one. I believe it is. I think David, I went through it and some garbage stuff needs to be updated, I believe.
You said you've gone through it to see it, and you, based on that review, you believe there's verbiage that will need to be updated. We need to work with you. We need to table that. Okay. So I don't know if we should.
Are you prepared to update it now, or?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So,
What's your first edit?
So it says at the very beginning, in order for any user to connect to the public school internet connection and or email system, I would also add something in with the effective file storage systems is we've moved from just an email system online, internet connection to our entire storage and online software capabilities. So I think whatever the acceptable uses for access to any of our systems, that's been represented in there.
So is the term file storage system broad enough to cover all those?
I believe so.
Okay.
And then on the second page, that policy says Medfield Public School System reserves the right to examine all data stored in the machines involved in the internet. And again, so much of this is hosted in the cloud. I think we just need to broaden that verbiage to represent that it's not just what's stored locally in machines, but it's also what's hosted.
Can you put anything hosted in the cloud after locally stored or something? Is that what you're saying? Ron?
Yep.
Okay.
So if I change machines to stored in the hardware or in the cloud?
Yeah.
Involved in the internet links?
Or storage locally or in the cloud, I think it's probably.
So do you want to take hardware out?
Yeah, I would say,
Just stored locally?
locally or in the cloud.
And Leo, are you able to hear, Onika?
Yep.
Anything else?
No.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have yours, so we can not put this one in. Do you want to keep the form in the policy manual?
Do you see that often, or that's kind of?
No, usually
Yeah.
forms are part of handbook sign off,
Right,
they're
exactly.
not here. Next one is internet publication. This governs your webpage, basically, and it creates standards for any association or group who want to put their links on your website. Whether it be a PTO, education foundation, booster group. If they would like their webpage linked to yours, then there's a standard of what's on their webpage that has to comply.
So Jim, is that link only, or is that if we post a PDF of a conversation?
That would be anything that goes onto your webpage that has to have a content, a certain level of content description. Meaning, if you have a group and one of their sponsors is a liquor store,
Right.
it's like adding or promoting advertising to a liquor store on,
Right.
and you can't do that, or a tobacco store or anything like that.
Okay. But it would, we have a spot on our website in which we post announcements from groups. So
Right, so those
that-
announcements could, if they had sponsorships listed on the flyer, like brought to you by Harmony Liquor Store, they'd have to block that part off. Because you can't host advertising for alcohol tobacco.
Does anything about ADA compliancy come in here, where you say our website is ADA compliant, whether we're on our site linking to other people's sites, almost promoting them, if you will, and they're not ADA compliant, does that put us in the crosshairs of anyone?
Well, Jim,
not
should
if
we,
it's a-
should we have it so that when people leave our site, it's clearly telling them that they're leaving our site and beyond our responsibility?
Yeah. Yeah, you're now leaving the Medfield Public Schools website. Student photographs, student works. Probably should. Probably put something in here in the content standards that, what's the term? What's the term I'm looking for accessible?
ADA.
Is it? Trying to think what the term is. Standards. Then there's IJNDD, employee use of social networking websites, and I think the discussion was more on section 1A. Teachers may not list currently enrolled students as friends on networking sites. There's two versions of this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the second one's a little cleaner, like it's just one sentence. But either way, it should be, I think it would be consistent.
Yeah, I think the MASC one's more
Okay,
applicable with the town. We're up to date.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was just comparing them as you were going through it. I don't. It's pretty well across the board, don't you think?
we already did field trips. We did academic freedom, we did progress reports. Homework. No, we stopped there, didn't we?
You're at IKK.
IKA. We did these, we did IK and IKV.
We did.
Yeah,
We did.
so IKB homework.
I thought we did that.
Okay. Implementation guidelines with all the,
We wanted to keep all that in there.
okay,
That's what we realized.
okay. IKE, did we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Graduation requirements, I remember we did that. We do evaluation of instructional programs? Huh?
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe this is where we left off.
Yes.
Is the early graduation policy still? I just went through and made the pronoun changes after the meeting. This is existing.
Yeah, I don't. We've never had any situation in this where we've had to do that. I did not give that one to the high school staff.
Or do you want to just mark it?
Yeah, we mark that.
Mark
Section
additional review.
over that. with high school folks.
Might even question if it's even possible.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, that's, thank you.
Okay, IL. The only difference between the model policy and Medfield is just system to district and parent guardian. Those are the only edits I recommend.
Excellent.
District program assessments. This would be, assessment. Okay. You sure this happens?
Yeah.
Um, ILD, this is a student submission to educational surveys and research. This is not in Medfield policy now.
This is what we talked about.
Yeah, I was just looking at, I have my own version here, I was reading that, like, as I recall, I guess the slippery slope is when does instructional material and asking students for, whatever. Does that ever blend into what could be considered a survey?
Right, so Jim, what we had talked about for this particular one is that just the definition of survey. So we have teachers that will do formative assessments all the time with kids to kind of survey their learning to see where they need to adjust curriculum. And we have parents that want to opt out of other surveys, which is fine, which makes sense with this policy. But does the day-to-day instructional survey that teachers do to kind of just gauge where their students are, does that fall under this?
Well, look at the 1 through 8. This is surveys, analysis, or evaluation that reveals information concerning.
Mhm.
So it'd be the 1 through 8. So, where a student is academically is not in that 1 through 8.
Okay,
What about like civic?
that's my interpretation of it too. I just
Yeah,
wanted to make sure everyone's clear on.
but these are some of the surveys that come out of like the State Department.
Oh, the Metro West Health Survey that we do,
Yeah, right.
all those, yeah.
Yeah.
We do a panorama survey, so those are.
And that's, I think, even item 1, political affiliations, sure, or beliefs, but in a civics class, you just don't want to be, I think that was the
Yeah, but a civics class isn't necessarily going to ask you what your political affiliation is. It's going to be just more about the 2-party system.
It is how we do it. I mean, our protocols are very similar to this. If parents want to inspect it, they can do that. We do that all the
Right.
time, so.
Okay, because I think, Jeff, we had talked about that a while ago. Your review with your administration, making sure as we,
Yeah, they
as
would
we,
be concerned about that.
yeah, as we adopt it, but I think based on what the conversation we just had, you're okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Next one up is IMA, teaching activities, presentations, and we don't have any recommendations for any changes with this. This is existing. Okay. IMB, teaching about controversial issues, not controversial speakers. And this is existing, and we only did that one change, parent guardian. So it breaks out teacher plan classroom discussions as student initiated forums. And outside groups. I mean, the only change we had was parent to parent guardian. IMB, school ceremonies and observances. Again, I have no recommended changes to this whatsoever. Scroll back up, so you can see the whole thing.
I'm scanning the one she put in the packet on the website.
Hmm.
I'm just scanning one that Andrea put on this website.
Flag displays. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay, animals in schools. Now, this is the one that you just talked about at the last school committee meeting. And the old policy was animals in school, but it included service animals.
Right.
It has subsequently been split up. There's animals in school and then there's a service animals policy. So it's IMG and IMGA. It just made more sense to split the two up. So this would be the IMG policy, and then here's the service animals policy.
So the school committee voted the service animals policy last.
Right. But this is the one they voted, this is the version they voted. Yeah, the old one used to list different types of animals
Right.
and all this other stuff. According to that older policy, a class couldn't have like a egg hatching baby chick experiment.
Right, right.
So it'd be like. It's still not effective use of a miniature horse.
That's.
I've seen one.
You have.
Yeah. It was a child with that always had to have oxygen tanks. And the amount of oxygen required during the school day was more tanks than the dog could carry.
Oh, okay.
And the child did not want to be in a wheelchair. Because otherwise walk or just had a problem breathing. So it was the horse would carry the tanks around. I think it was only about this big.
You need to scroll up one second. I was just comparing what we did last night. So, and then what was last night? We called out IMGA, right? Correct?
Yeah.
So IMG. And then like the way it is, you just go IMG just had, so we called it out last night, IMGA.
Service animals. Oh, I'm sorry, it didn't bounce down. There it is.
Okay. Yeah, it's that one. Let me see it one more time. But yeah, so as long as we're bringing in, precisely what we did last night. Okay. Is that it for I?
That is it. And then this is the old stuff. That's it.
And we're operation on this, we're running pretty smoothly. Jim, as you make those changes, you're sending them, Andre, you're getting them, and we're getting them posted.
And it goes.
See, as soon as you got us out of this, out of the middle, it starts to flow.
In the big master spreadsheet.
It all started there. That was within the brain power. But once it's there, then you're able to and yeah, once we all understood and we're talking the same language, we stopped having to do V1, that's stuff that, in our heads, it was like, okay, it makes sense. Okay. So good, so that'll be ready.
You ready for Jay?
Yeah, one sec, yep, just gonna open the other one. It's more important that the other folks in the room are ready. To listen.
ready.
Oh, he's
Yes.
got this copy of Jay.
Yeah, Jay. Used to have my reading glasses, but I have,
Jeff, didn't you want to?
See any of it, but.
I have 6 pairs of readers and all of them.
I think I
No, that's
have
right. I
one.
can still have.
I have an extra one.
Do you?
I think
That's
so.
right, I used those before.
Look, is it this one?
Those are the ones I used before.
Yeah, it's yeah, last night I left
So it's easy, we just wear them all the time.
Right?
I did
Why-
that. It's like, where's my glasses? They're on top of your head.
Yeah. Never have that problem.
No.
I might have another one in there too, but that's like pretty special. All right, let's roll on Jay, because we only have about 45 minutes.
Can't see the button to shut it off. All right. JA, student policy goals. This is a Medfield only. The reason we don't have one for this code is that typically goal statements are contained in other documents, like a strategic plan, district improvement plan, school improvement plan, superintendent goals, weekly goals. Now, these are very generic statements to begin with. And there's really nothing wrong with them, but it's not, if you're gonna look for district or student related goals, I would look at other places other than here. If you want to keep them here, then we should also reference some of the other documents for people to look at. Like the district's, district improvement plan, strategic plan, each school improvement plan. So it's up to you if you want to keep it and add those references or just bounce it. I'm good either way.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it.
Is that IN?
JA.
Mine, it says, on my screen, it says I.
Oh yeah, on the screen it says, that's weird. The screen. See in the upper right?
You know why? Because I'm still sharing the other policy. I'm sorry.
You really like that.
No, I know.
Actually, it does call out. Did we talk about the same thing with I?
Yeah. How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
I think our
Thanks for picking up on that.
general view had been the classic, if it's not broken. Like I would prefer to be, if all of these are covered in the others, then you'd be out there, or do you want, can we, do we know what we would reference it? I guess that would be. I guess I'm waiting, I'm looking for a opinion. Jeff, from you.
Okay, I'm fine either way.
Is there a district strategic plan?
Yes.
So I would say we leave it and we just reference. Is there anything else other than the strategic plan? we would
With
reference?
the school improvement plans.
Okay. Okay, good.
JA-E, you don't need this anymore.
It's an all right.
It's basically quoting regs, but you've inserted Medfield School Committee into where the reg says the district shall. I'm not a big fan of quoting regs or laws in the policies.
Yeah, because it may change.
And on JA, we have that cross-reference of 26 CMR. JB, there's a second version of this, which uses the expanded categories for discrimination, including the expanded definition of race. This is the second version, this is the first version.
It seems like it would, you'd want the expanded.
Yeah, that'd be consistent with all the others.
Some of the ones that you updated. Like 18 or 19.
It started
It
at
says eight.
It says 18.
It says 18. Well, the hair color one would, the race one is recent.
Right,
That wouldn't have
okay.
been, that wouldn't have been in 2018.
Yeah, so their years, ours is
That's
in
the
May
Crown
of
case.
18 and theirs is
Right.
August of 19
I wasn't here in May.
or February of 19.
Actually, if you look at the screen, there's even a more updated one, and that was done in 2022.
Okay.
I think we did this after 18. Pretty sure we did.
But unless it has the expanded definition of race, then
Right.
it has to be updated.
Updated anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Educational equity. This is a new policy. This may not have been in the file originally. When it was originally sent to you, because we just recently did a bunch of updates in section J, so incorporated those into this. Next up is attendance areas. This is there's two versions of this. As long as the Medfield one matches with what your current practice is, I'm good.
Okay, so we don't have to have this as an issue. We don't have this issue right now, but it could be in the future if the town decides to go back to neighborhood schools or something
Right,
like that. But right
right.
now, we don't have that.
Right. You have the, yeah, okay, you have that, so I'm just gonna leave the Medfield one in. Six. I'm actually just gonna update the legal references that for this. Go to hyperlink, the actual CMRs, not the Board of Education regulations.
Okay.
Because those won't hyperlink. It's the same thing, it's just that these are the actual regulations rather than title. Assignment of students to schools. And again, currently, this isn't an issue for you because every child in Medfield goes to the same school for third grade. But you do want to keep this in, or
Yeah, I think it would be. They're both similar. I thought they may see one another similar.
yeah, the difference is that you don't do this. Right? Every child goes to the same third
Right,
grade
but I think
building,
you should have it in, right? Don't you think?
in case you go back.
Yeah, in case
Yeah.
something happens. I don't see anything happening in the future, but you never know.
Right, okay.
I support.
Against me because of the legal references on. Entrance age.
I didn't
August
love MASC.
31st. Huh?
I didn't love MASC's. I highlighted the admission of children whose birthdays fall after September 1 be solely at the school's discretion. We would be dealing with that all the time. We had that.
It's fine.
That's the only thing I would bring to the committee to think about, is that we currently don't have that in our policy, so it's a binary decision. Yes or no, based on the date.
You're saying what's and the issue would be,
The issue would be that if someone is born on September 10th, they can petition me to have their child go into the school. When they didn't make the date. That's how I read that. We'll petition the principal.
We put it in there because it's an option.
we just want to leave it as is?
I think so, but
So do we want to?
So it's August 31st is the date. On number 4. Okay. If that's been working for you, then
that's
stay with that. Just gonna copy up the legal references. School admissions.
So the date there would be different for us. I mean, I know the MASC one says spring. We actually start in January, actually December for some, but full on in January for that process for kindergarten.
In the second paragraph there,
Yes. So it says April here, and I know the MASC one says spring.
what do you want it to say? It's around, like,
Well, it starts in December.
Sometimes it's just.
It starts in December. So
you're on a trimester
yeah. I
in
mean,
all the schools?
No, second.
So maybe usually take place in the winter. I mean, this policy was put in before we had full day kindergarten. So the spring and April, that was all well and good. We just can't do that now because with full day kindergarten, we often have a waiting list or not enough slots.
Well, I would say we usually start in December.
Sure.
Louise being the qualifier.
Yeah, that's the word.
It could be January.
Right.
Is the rest of it correct?
Yes.
Then you don't need this E1 either.
Okay, good. That's a question mark there.
Yeah. Or E2. And again, if anybody asks why I'm suggesting you delete them, it's simply that it's regulations so that it's not your documents. That's why there is exhibits. Then you have your purchasing, like they're going to move Medfield.
Right. If someone has a purchase and sale, we take them to school. or if they have a signed agreement for rental, they. It's all in the school.
And then you give them, if it's longer than 4 months. Number 3 there.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened, but. I think if someone's building a home, it take longer than 4 months. Yeah, it just didn't make, or it doesn't make a lot of sense to have a child start in a different district. No,
Right.
the parents have a purchase and sales in Medfield. It just
Sure.
doesn't, the transition doesn't make sense for us, so. Yeah, number 3 is, I have it. One. Right. Yeah, I think we still consider that if they're building a home, I think we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Admission of transfer students. This is actually a required statement. Basically, you do give them a child coming from a Commonwealth charter school, you give them the same consideration if they were transferring from another public school district. Good. Children and youth in transition. This is a Medfield policy. I think this is your McKinney-Vento policy. Yeah. This version is 2003, sort of later.
The recommendation was to move to the homeless students, foster care students, military, and which are the next
Got it.
policies.
Yep.
So we went through our tier them for this.
Yep.
And their recommendation was to consult or not consolidate the policies and have each standing.
So that would give you the homeless students policy, JFAD.
Yes, and then should foster care students, military students, and migrant. So JFABE, they're on, yes, they're on with the military. JFABE and JFABF,
Right.
those are the 3.
So you do participate in school choice.
We don't.
No.
You don't. Okay. Is it this? I have a version that's not participating.
The assumption is that you do participate by law.
You have to opt.
Yeah, I was,
You have to opt out.
yeah, and that's, I mean, we bring that forward every year. So I'm just wondering is, do we,
So this
Why would
is-
we be
This
changing
is
it?
what the first paragraph would read.
Why, I mean, could you say something like to review admittance, like, or, isn't that what we do every year? I'm sorry if I'm ahead of you.
So that's what the first paragraph would read for a district that does not participate. It says you basically would be reaffirmed annually prior to June 1st by a vote of the school committee following a public hearing. In the event the school committee votes to participate, the following local conditions will apply.
Okay, so it's kind of the same, it's a different way of saying it. And then I'm looking over, Jeff, to you.
Yeah, I thought those conditions, what we do.
But the thing was is that if the Medfield one said you would policy as district to admit non-resident. So was at some point you were a school choice district and you opted out?
But in either case, whatever one you state, I mean, that's why I think that I like the way that the language that you inserted. It basically states what the process is.
Right. JH. The Medfield one needs to be replaced. There was a whole regulation change concerning absences, excuse absences, insurancy and so forth. It talked about a student absence notification program, dropout prevention. This was all updated in 2021. So the second version of this would be the one we would recommend.
And yeah, as long as we're following it.
JHD, exclusion and exemptions from school attendance. This is where you could deny someone admission. The only thing is this yellow highlighted paragraph is no longer valid because no one gets expelled anymore.
Right.
And if you do expel someone, you have to provide educational services for them.
We have to include 37 8 3/4 in that 1/2 and 3/4
Yeah.
in the reference.
Why couldn't they just come up with another number? Vacations during school time, this is Medfield only. Sometimes I see these statements in handbooks, but it's here.
We have it in our handbook, but it's probably good to have it there too.
And then makeup opportunities.
So we got a full update on that one.
Do we keep IGC? Hmm?
So we have any student out of our high school, any student may attend an approved summer school program for makeup, remediation, or enrichment purposes. And we have an approval process that goes along with that. And then summer school credits, we have 7 steps of that as well. and summer tutoring for makeup credit. It's all coming out. We just share that email with you,
Please.
so you have it, just,
Yeah.
just a lot of.
I think the code changed. JI, student rights and responsibilities. The only suggestion I have is adding guardians to parents.
You're gonna add there to his, her,
Sorry,
yeah, you can substitute there for his, her as well,
I missed the his, or when you see it.
number 3.
Oh, yeah, I already fixed that,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Injured their rights.
Okay.
JIB, student involvement, decision making. So. By having this is from the advisory from DESI on student advisory committees. Is by having student reps regularly attend your school committee meeting meets the requirement of the statute
Okay.
of at least once every other month.
We have that.
Yeah, we have that.
We have one student that sits at the table, that's there every meeting, and then we have the advisory.
Good. And of course, this was put in before the school councils.
Oh, okay.
Well, this has been in existence before, where students could, at the high school level, students could participate in the school improvement council. Student conduct, JIC.
Can I just, this one's, I've been more, so just curious. And I'm reading it again, the student advisory committee, is it always high school?
Yes.
And does it stay there somewhere?
Yeah.
Stay that somewhere?
Does it?
The statute 7138.
Okay.
That created student advisory council, student advisory committees.
Okay.
So the JIC Medfield student conduct, I'm suggesting replacing it with the student discipline JIC, which captures all the chapter 222 changes.
Our handbooks capture that. too.
Right, but the policy didn't.
But we acted that policy in November 2021. I have a whole that I don't know if you would ever adopt it.
That was part of the.
Yeah, we
We
did
updated the handbooks and the policies, but it was
Yeah.
November 20.
21.
Well, if you want to send me what was,
Yeah, I can send you those, yeah.
I would be surprised if it's not this.
Pretty much. Pretty close to.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 7 pages long.
Yeah, it sure is.
But again, that was the whole thing about making it much more difficult to suspend or expel a student. For a number of reasons. Oops. Student dress code. Don't have any recommended changes for this, understanding that a student handbook may be a little bit more prescriptive than what this policy is. Just put it out there, that really the only thing you can hang your hats on is safety. If the dress is if the student's dress is unsafe, causing damage to school property, like if they have a studded belt, and they sit down in a chair like that, and as they move around, they rip the fabric. You can ask them to remove the belt. Not simply because you don't like the style of it, because it's causing damage. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, Randolph was able to ban hooded sweatshirts because they had safety concerns, because they had videotape of students putting their hoods up in sunglasses and opening exterior doors to let other assumed students into the building who also had hoods on. And most of them were carrying trays of coffee, iced coffee and stuff. But it was a safety concern because the principal wasn't sure who was coming in and out of the building.
Sure.
JICC, student conduct on buses. I've already gone ahead and added the guardians. Here where it's parent guardians.
Okay.
You'll see that on the screen.
So Jim, if we were going to add cameras on the buses as part of our contract, would you want this in the policy?
We have a policy for cameras on buses.
We don't have them currently, but I know that the principal's been asking us to do that in the next contract.
Yeah. You just have to put signs on the bus, cameras in use.
Right.
You have to give due notice that the cameras are in place.
Gotta believe the bus drivers. I guess it's a double-edged sword.
And the other
It's a
component
rule
is,
that should help the behavior on the bus.
The policy should clearly identify who has access to the videos, and only those people.
I mean, the issue is because we have 3 schools on the same buses, if there's a bus issue that comes up, say for a Dale Street kid, it may involve a Wheelock kid, which is across town.
Right.
It becomes really difficult for the principals to get to the bottom of an issue when the kids aren't in their schools,
Right.
you know, so that's one of the reasons why they're asking.
This dash R, I recommend you keep it in the handbook. You don't need it here. It's a little bit too prescriptive, and it probably doesn't include everything.
Yeah, like I have my note here, the conference with the superintendent after a second offense. That's not gonna do it. So
Yeah.
the handbook's very different.
Yeah. Why is somebody tapping on an SOS?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Maybe if-
sorry, that's my mouse.
Morning,
You
everybody.
didn't recognize that?
I didn't hear it.
I didn't even know that's what it is. That's the sound.
Oh my God. You never a Boy Scout?
1 year.
I learned how to do that with a mirror. Next up, JICE, student publications. There's 2 versions of this. The biggest thing is the last paragraph of ours, because a student publication is protected under the Massachusetts Constitution, and a lot of education agencies use the federal standard. Massachusetts Constitution is actually more liberal than the US Constitution. Big surprise. So you can't use the federal standard, which gives principals editorial control over student publications. Massachusetts, So one of the counter to that is, and if you look at the last paragraph of ours, which is on screen, is that it's an expression of students, it does not represent the expression of school policy or school officials be held responsible in any civil or criminal. It's a disclaimer that says it's the students' opinions and the students' opinions only.
So I would only ask the committee to consider, it's the fourth paragraph down on the Medfield, but the third on the MASC, where it says the superintendent will establish guidelines. I would just ask them to consider the superintendent will designate. Will establish guidelines. Some of that will fall under curriculum and principle.
And that's what you, that was assuming that what you meant by designate. Principal.
Well,
Principal or curriculum. Could be.
I support.
it's just that the fifth paragraph in Medfield's is not correct. I had many long phone conversations with the American Civil Liberties Union on that paragraph.
Does it make sense to the MASC?
That's right. Yeah, that's kind of what
Now you can, if a student writes something, you can make sure that they put their name on it. But it's. Gang activity, secret societies, don't have any recommended changes to this. It's kind of one of those things, you hope you never need it, but if you do need it, it's there. Prohibition of hazing, there's a little bit of update to the language here. So
We
that's,
have an updated one.
this was not in the original packet I sent you because it's an update. Then again, you have to publish these things in your handbooks, but you do not have to publish them in your policy manual. These definitions, like section 17, 18, and 19. And you didn't, the original document didn't have all of 19. So you can keep them, it does no harm, but again, you're reprinting a statute in your policy. And they're all hyperlinked anyway. Or they'll all be hyperlinked anyway in the previous document. Feedback.
yeah, I was looking.
They're not needed in the handbook, so we're good.
Right.
Yeah, we've been consistent about that. We're coming up on time. My 11 for me is like I have to be kicking off.
Okay.
I'm gonna just probably take it in that room so I can go for. But it usually takes another minute or two to close. There's no way.
No, you still got like 100.
Yeah. So
It's from August 22nd, 2000.
Yeah, we have updated that one too.
So we might as well. I put a pause, but we might as well do that now, right? Because otherwise we're gonna run through something.
This is a time, if you're gonna have, we're gonna have a big long discussion over this one, makes sense.
Okay. Good progress. Sorry, we stopped a little late. And I would be willing to bet we probably will need, I mean, just looking at the number of pages we got through. we're at what? 60 of 190? Is that right?
68.
Yeah. So we might need to be closer to 2 hours and then, you know, for the next one.
Yeah.
Um,
We added another one, we had another meeting at the end too.
yeah, we're okay. Like, I think we're gonna be gradually catching up
Yeah.
within the school committee. But we have great momentum. We're all kind of getting used to this, so we want to continue. I'm sorry, I thought that was Leo. I think it was December, the first, is it the first Friday in December?
Yep, December 1st.
Okay, let me just look at make sure I have it. And we'll go 9 to 11, I assume.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And so everyone in the room's okay with that?
Just need to double
Yep.
check.
You're not okay. So let's hold on. Let's choose a better day. That works, because I think these are the ones where we need you as well.
I can always provide that, whatever. Jen-
Yeah, I guess Jeff, I defer to you.
Whatever works. I mean, you already have it in your schedule, Jim, and you can.
Yeah, and I can always provide input.
I can do the first or the 8th, so whatever.
I can do both too.
Whatever works for you, Tim. Again,
Let's just keep it on the first. If you're saying if you can just provide what you need beforehand.
we can do that.
Yep.
So next meeting, December 1st at 9, we'll continue with Jay. And Andrea, thanks again for keeping order. Though Jim's doing a lot of the other stuff too. But there's nothing worse, like you do all your work, right? And we don't have our act together, then it doesn't work. So I feel
We're coming along fine.
yeah, we're doing well. So thank you. I guess other than that, Leo,
Thank you, folks.
yes, a motion to close. I guess I'll make a motion to close.
So second,
Okay, all in favor? Yes, Tim.
yes, Leo Brem.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Have a good one, everybody.